Please be seated. The court is now back in session. I hand over the floor to the Deputy National Court Prosecutor. You may proceed.
Thank you, Mr. President, and good afternoon to all of you. Witness, I'm going to question you this afternoon regarding the events that occurred between 1975 and 1978.
President, you may proceed, Mr. Kope.
I apologize. I was wondering if there's any news in relation to additional statements, either DC camp statements or statements coming from case 3 and 4. I was hoping that maybe during the lunch break the prosecution had time to investigate this, and I was wondering if there's any news on this.
Mr. President, we have not found any further answers than earlier on. We only have 2 written records on the case file. There's nothing from cases 3 and 4 that has not been given to the parties, and there's we also don't have any traces of interviews that were given at DCCAM, neither among our documents, nor on site, nor on the case file. So, Mr. President, I suggest that we continue on the basis of the records that were taken before the investigating judges. So, as I was saying, witness, I'm going to question you. First, I need some clarification. You said that you had no nickname or no revolutionary name in this written record E3/5521. However, you held an official position. You were a commune chief. So what would the cadres call you when you were working in Nimyang and Steronong communes?
Answer. Thank you. At that time, I was referred to as Ta.
Was this a revolutionary name? What did it mean?
Answer. It was very popular to refer to an individual by Ta or grandfather.
Were you called Tanyao from time to time? Neovov or Neou?
Answer. Yes, I was referred to as Tano.
Mr. President, I would like to give 3 documents to the witness. First of all, the 2 written records of interview before the co-investigating judges, because we will need them later, and also a 3rd document, which is document E3/2452. And for the written records, it is E3/5521 and E3/19.1.17. So, do you give me leave to provide these 3 documents to the witness?
President, you may proceed.
the first question I'm going to put to you, witness, regards document E3/2452, which is a poor copy, I must say, of a handwritten document. And I'm going to read out the ERNs, the relevant ones. Khmer 00270998. English 00843036. French 00872836. And in French, this regards the bottom of the page. So this is a report, a partial report, dated 8 October 1977, which was drafted in Srey Ronon and which is signed by a so-named No, N-O-W, V, corrects the interpreter. This report relates to a person from the New People named Sen Kil, who came from District 109 and who deserted his unit and who went to Lebo for 2 days. So, witness, can you tell me if this is your signature here at the bottom of the page? So, we're speaking here about a person who signed by the name of No. Is that you?
Answer. I could not recognize it, and as for the handwriting, it is not my handwriting.
Was there another person working at Srey Ronon commune who would draft reports and who may have been called No, N-O-V?
Answer. Actually, there was no other person. Perhaps another one wrote this letter. He was probably a clerk.
Fine. Now I'd like to speak about something else. In your written record of interview E3/5521, you said, I believe your lawyer will help you find this document. At answer 22, you said the following. Free translation. I was ordered to become head of the supply sector. Back then, I would go ask for food, threshed rice, fish, meat, and vegetables in the villages to provide these to the front lines. Aside from all of that, I was in charge of keeping records and for keeping records in the commune of Genya. End of quote. Can you tell us what the records of Nha Nhau commune consisted of? Which documents were kept in these records?
Answer. Thank you. As for keeping records, it concerns the economics, the expenditure, and also the consumption of fish, meat, vegetables, and how much the food supplies we got from the villages, and how much food supplies we sent to the front line. So I kept all the records.
Fine. Now, regarding the records themselves, which records would you keep? And can you provide us with some detail?
Answer. I told you already. As for the records, I would keep the supply used.
And what about reports and correspondence between Yangyang Commune and the district were also kept in these records?
Answer. After I wrote in the records, I would send the records to the upper level.
And what about the documents coming from the upper level? Would you keep these in the records?
Answer. For the records from the upper levels, they would be kept by the chief of the communes.
And earlier on, you said that lists had been drafted. There was a list for 17 April people and a list for base people. Were these lists kept by yourself in the archives, or were they kept by the commune chief?
Answer. The commune chiefs kept all the statistics.
And who in the commune was in charge of drafting these lists? Were these people working for the commune, or militiamen, or other people?
Answer. There was another register. He or she was the clerk of the commune, and I was only in charge of the economics.
Did you remain in charge of these archives until you left the Ningyang commune in 1977?
Answer. Yes.
Can you tell us exactly when in 1977 you went to Srei Ronong commune?
Answer. When I went to be in charge of Srei Ronong commune, I did not recall it exactly. Perhaps it was in late 1977 or early 1978.
Now, getting back to Ningyang commune, when you were working at the office over there, you said, and this is written record of interview E3/5521, at answer 22, Bun Si, currently living in Cheongsat, was commune secretary. So, can you tell us if Bun Si remained commune chief for a long time, and if someone else replaced him afterwards?
Answer. Bun Si remained the commune chief until 1977, and later on he was transferred to Kampong Cham province. After that, Ta Sun was the one who replaced Bun Si.
Do you know a son named Mean, M-E-A-N, who was at Ningyang commune? And if you did know him, what was his position?
Answer: I knew this person named Mien. I left that place already. Actually, Mien was the deputy of the commune.
Fine. In the same written record of interview at answer 29, and you also said the same earlier on, you said at first no biography was screened. And you're speaking about the 17 April people. And then you say later on it might have happened. So I would like, the answer is a bit ambiguous. So were the 17 April people biographies written in Ningnyang commune?
Answer: actually, there was the information, there was an announcement that those who had been soldiers or had worked in the previous regime, they had to admit, and after that they would be allowed to return back to work.
Indeed. In order to provide some clarification regarding this, those who responded to the announcement saying that they were former servicemen under the Lon Nol regime and former officials, what happened to them when they arrived in Ningnyang commune in 1975?
Answer: after their responses, some remain at that place, but some other disappear.
Were they told that they would be able to go back to their jobs and that they simply had to go to another place in order to offer their services to the new regime?
Answer: they told that those who were teachers, those who were former soldiers, or those who had been in the previous regime, they would be allowed to go back to work.
And what about those who did not answer the announcement, who hid that they were former servicemen or teachers or officials? What happened to them when it was discovered that they had lied and that they were indeed former officials of the Lon Nol regime?
Answer: as for those who concealed their backgrounds, and if they did not pose any danger to the revolution, they were not mistreated. And for those who opposed the revolution, they would be sent for re-education.
Do you know what would happen when it was discovered that among the 17 April people, high-ranking servicemen or high-ranking officials, were these people also urged to say that they had held these positions under the Lon Nol regime?
Answer. As I said already, for those who were former officials, if they had any activities against the, if they did not oppose to the revolution, they did not do anything on these people. But for those who opposed the revolution, they would be sent for re-education.
Mr. President, I would like to give to the witness a written record of interview. This is the record of witness T 2 TCW 822. This is E3/319.1.2. I'd like to give him this record and then ask him questions about it.
President, you may proceed.
Oh. Merci. Alors, Monsieur le
Thank you. Witness, can you please look at the second page of this document? And please do not speak out the name of the person you see here on the page. And can you tell us, or tell the chamber, if you knew this person who worked at the Tramkak district office? And in particular, at the Tramkak Office of Commerce.
Answer. I did not know this individual.
Ce n'est pas très grave.
That's not a problem. I'm going to have you react to what this person said in answering question 113. So, yes, please go to question 113. So, question, free translation. What do you know about the slaughter of the Lon Nol soldiers and their families in Takeo province? Answer. The Khmer Rouge claimed their victory. We conquered Phnom Penh, they said. And then they expelled the people from Phnom Penh and deported them to Champa Luk Pagoda, which was to the west, 3 kilometers from Ang Tasom in Tramkak district. They asked the officers of the former regime to sign up on a list which was open for 7 days. And once they signed the list, they were decimated without leaving any traces, and hundreds and thousands of them were decimated in this way. End of quote.
Lorsque vous dites que
So when you say that in your commune, the servicemen and the former officials of the Lon Nol government were asked to show up, were they asked to sign up on a list for a certain period of time?
Answer. For this matter, I was not aware of it.
vous n'avez donc pas entendu parler.
So you did not hear of the events that occurred at Champaduk Pagoda near Ang Tasom?
At that time, I mostly remained in the office, and if people were gathered and placed in Jamkale Pagoda, I was not aware of it, as Jamkale and the office that I was in was about 10 kilometers away. I simply knew that people were brought into the commune.
Tout à l'heure, vous avez dit que
A while ago, you stated that those who were opposed to the regime disappeared. What did you mean when you said those who were opposed to the regime? Can you give us any specific examples by way of illustration?
Thank you for asking this question. Those who oppose the regime, it means that they did not agree or they disliked the revolution or they reacted to the wording of the organization.
y en avait-il beaucoup parmi les gens du 17 avril?
Were there many people among the 17 April people who were opposed to the regime?
There were only a few. Mostly those people participated in the cooperative actively.
Et parmi les gens du peuple de base,
And among the base people, were there people who were happy to work in cooperatives and not to have private property to eat collectively and not to be openly opposed to the regime?
In fact, at that time, in general, there was no one who opposed. Of course, everybody found it difficult in the living condition, in taking the communal meal, even myself, but we did not dare to express it out.
je vais revenir avec des exemples plus.
I will revisit this issue with more concrete examples when we look at reports of persons who complained and were opposed to the regime. But before we do that, I would like to show you another extract of the record of an interview of a person who was heard by the co-investigating judges, and it is document E319/12.3.2. I would like this document to be shown to you temporarily, and then I will ask some questions on certain persons and find out whether you know those persons.
Yes, you can proceed.
Je vous demande de regarder le nom de la personne qui.
Please look at the name of the person who was interviewed by the co-investigating judges. Don't pronounce that person's name, but tell me whether you know that person who may have played a role in Tramkak district and in one of its communes.
No, I do not recognize these individuals.
Est-ce que vous êtes certain, monsieur le.
Are you sure, Mr. Witness? That person was relatively well known in the district, so I am somewhat surprised to hear you say that you did not know that person.
I apologize as I could not read the name in my previous statement. Now I believe I recognize this person. And I apologize for my previous statement because my eyesight is rather poor.
Est-ce que cette personne
Was that person commune chief during the democratic Kampuchea regime or not?
Yes, the person was the commune chief.
Très bien, je vais vous
Very well. I will read out to you questions and answers 254 and 255, and I'll quote the passage in English because we don't yet have a French translation thereof.
Question 254. When the commune chiefs began to collect biographies from the people and found someone who had been involved in the Lon Nol regime, what happened to those who were associated with the Lon Nol regime? Answer 254. Immediately when the Khmer Rouge regime began, they commenced making biographies of people who used to be teachers, policemen, or civil servants in the Lon Nol regime. Then they sent all of those biographies to the upper echelon. That was an order from the upper echelon. Question 255. To your knowledge, what happened to those who had been involved in the Lon Nol regime? Answer. After the biographies were sent to the upper echelon, they provided the names of those people to me. Then I ordered the arrests of those people and sent them to the upper echelon. Some were able to return, some could not. The arrested ones were mostly soldiers and policemen. Not many teachers were sent there. End of quote. Alors, ici,
Very well. Here we see senior officials of Tram Kop district and commune chiefs. The chief said the biographies were established by the commune regarding teachers, police officers, or Lon Nol civil servants, and that they were sent to the upper echelon. And after that, the upper echelon would ask the commune chief to arrest the persons who had been members of the Lon Nol regime and to send them. Does this refresh your memory as to what happened in your commune, Nianyang, after the evacuation of 1975 and following the arrival of those persons in Tram Kop district?
At that time, I worked with the economics at the office. As for such leads, it was dealt with at the commune, and in particular, it was the commune clerk. For me personally, I never took any biography of those former soldiers or civil servants of the previous regime.
est-ce que d'une façon ou d'une
Did you, in one way or the other, did you in one way or the other hear that those biographies were taken, that they were analyzed at the upper echelon, and that some of the persons whose biographies had been established were arrested?
I do not understand your question. Please rephrase it.
Oui, je vais essayer de la simplifier.
I will try to simplify it. Did you hear or learn while you were working at the Nyang Commune office that biographies of former police officers, teachers, and Lon Nol civil servants were established, forwarded to the district level, and based on instructions from the district, those persons were arrested by the commune.
I only heard about that, but I did not witness it. I heard that biographies were made.
Bien, je vais vous poser.
Very well. I'll put questions to you now regarding both Ningyan Commune and Serenyong and Kasom and all the other communes. The questions have to do with the year 1977, 2 years after the evacuees from Phnom Penh had arrived in Tram Kak district. I'll start by reading an extract of your record of interview E3/355-21. Answers 57 to 60. Answer 57. Free translation. During meetings, they talked about purges of internal and external enemies who were sympathetic towards supporters of Lon Nol, and the people who were in the party ranks and who did not have a good tendency were also purged. Even me, as a committee chief, was afraid of not towing the party line. The enemies in the rank included cadres. As for the enemies outside the rank, they were ordinary citizens. Question 58. In what year was the meeting held in which this purge was talked about? Answer. In 1977 or 1978. Though I was in Srei Ronong commune, such meetings were also held. Question number 60. Was the decision to arrest people made at the level of the district or the sector? Answer. Approximately, it was made from the sector level to the zone. End of quote. And for purposes of completion, I'll read the excerpt from another record of interview. And it is E/119.1.17. Questions 16 to 18. Question 16. Do you know whether there were meetings during which the purges of enemies were discussed? Answer. Yes. Such issues arose during meetings at the level of the district or the region. Answer number 17. I consecutively attended meetings during which it was said that false cadres or reticent cadres who were not towing the party line had to be purged. Question. Who talked about purges and who ordered purges? Answer. The order came from the zone and was handed down to the district and the zone. End of quote. Witness. As a cadre of Ningyan Commune and chief of Seronong Commune, did you regularly attend meetings at the level of the district of Tram Kak? If yes, how often? A year or a month?
When I was at Nyanyo, I did not have the authority to attend such a meeting. However, when I was at Srei Runung Commune, I attended the meeting at the district level as well as at the sector level. Such a meeting was held at least once a month. On the issue of decision-making process for the purchase, and allow me to say it frankly, the commune did not have a role to play. Only the sector or the zone who has the authority to authorize for the arrest and subsequently the smashing.
Est-ce que vous pourriez dire,
Can you tell the chamber at how many meetings at 105 district or 13 sector do they talk about purchase of enemies or purchase of persons who were in one way or the other related to the Long Nol regime?
In the meeting, when I was promoted to the commune in 1978, I attended those meetings. During those meetings, what I spoke of were on the agricultural production, that is, try to obtain 3 tons per hectare of rice yield. And if a leader in those fields could not reach that quota, then that person shall be removed.
d'accord, mais vous avez...
Well, but you also stated that during meetings they talked of the purges of internal and external enemies who were sympathetic towards supporters of Lon Nol who had bad tendencies. Do you remember who exactly at the level of the district or the sectors talked about enemies and purges? And if you can, give us the names of the chiefs who talked about that.
The chief of the sector at the time was Ta Saum, but I do not know his full name. And later on, it was Ta Prak, but subsequently Ta Prak was arrested.
Yeah, more.
And for the sector, Taron came to replace Ta Prak. And since Taron rose to the sector chief, I never attended any meeting with him. And I also never saw him in person.
D'accord, mais vous avez dit...
Very well, but you did say that you attended the annual General Assembly of Sector 13 twice. You said that in the first answer to your to a question put to you. During those General Assemblies, who chaired those meetings, or that particular meeting, Ta Prak, Taron?
That meeting was led by Ta Saum.
Bon.
Very well. I'll show you a number of documents, all at once. These documents are from practically all the communes in Tramkak district. They have to do with the arrest of former soldiers or civil servants of the non-law regime, and I will ask questions regarding 4 of these documents which I have selected. And I would like to show you those documents and have them placed on the screen as well with the President's leave. The documents are as follows: E3/2048, E3/2917, E3/2432, and E3/2450. Mr. President, can I show the witness these documents and progressively have these documents placed on the screen as well?
President, yes, you may proceed.
Alors, commençons par celui qui est...
Let us start with the document at the top, E3/2048, and the Khmer page is 00079-089. In English, it is 00276562 up to 63, and in French, it is page 2, 00611659. This is a report that was established by Noon from Chington Commune, and it was addressed on the 30th of April 1977 to the leadership of Angkar in Tramkak district, and this is what is stated therein, and I quote, free translation: regarding the situation of enemies in my base after receiving successive recommendations from Angkar regarding the vigilance vis-à-vis the enemy and the sweeping clean of enemy soldiers who are officers, we monitored, examined, and identified the following persons. End of quote. Second document, it's the same reference but another page, E3/2048. It is 2 pages further in Khmer, 00079091. In English, 00276564, and in French, page 4, and the ERN is 00611661. It is a report from Tapfem Commune, sent during the same period as the first report, which is the 20th of April 1977, and it is stated therein that the commune, and I quote, free translation, after receiving recommendations from the party, examined and swept clean enemies who were officers, end of quote.
Le document suivant est le document...
The following document is E3/2917. The page in Khmer is 00079-090. I believe there is an error somewhere. In English, it is 00742890. In French, 00810574. In any case, you have only one page before your eyes, witness, and it is a report from Copel Commune, and it states the following: on the 4th of May 1977, a few days after the 2 previous reports, and it states, and I quote, the number of families of soldiers who died or were eliminated by Angkar were equivalent to 393 individuals. This report also states that the commune tried to identify whether they were soldiers or not. Fourth And last but one report has number E3/2432. It is a single page. It is a list dated the 18th of April. It was established by Ningyan Commune, and it identifies 11 military officers from the previous regime who lived at Ningyan at the time, and that list includes 2 commanders, in English, majors, 5 lieutenants, first lieutenants, and 4 second lieutenants. And the last document is E3/2450. In Khmer, it is 00270746. In English, 00322161. And in French, 00623747. This is a letter from the chief of Ningyan Commune, or of his assistant called Men, MEANM. It's addressed to the chief of the security center at Krang Tachan. And he identifies 3 former officers of the Lon Nol Army arrested in that commune, 2 lieutenants and a second lieutenant. They were sent to the security centers following a decision by Ankara. The document states as follows, and I quote, regarding the errors, concerning the errors they made, there's nothing else to be pointed out. These people were arrested because they were high-ranking officers, end of quote. Now, I have a few questions for you in this regard. Regarding the 5 extracts from the 4 documents, do they refresh your memory as to the fact that the commune established reports on arrests and purging or purges of officers of the Lon Nol Army?
You refer to another commune which was not under my management, because what you read that happened in that Nyanyan commune was after I already left.
Est-ce que lors des réunions,
during meetings or when you were commune chief, that is the Sui Ronon commune in 1978, did you receive specific instructions on reports that had to be established regarding former military officers of the Lon Nol Army?
When I went to Sri Ranong commune, the previous commune chief had already conducted the purge. So when I was there, I did not make any arrest of anyone, and that happened in 1978.
très bien, mais ici,
Fine, but here I mentioned a certain number of reports coming from other communes. There was first the commune of Chengtong. This was a report dated 30 April 1977. Commune of Tapian, a report from 28 April 1977. Popel, 4 May 1977. Ninyang, 18 April. No year is mentioned here. And these are reports that were drafted by different communes, but at the same period. And during that period, you said that you were still at Ninyang commune, and now you just said to us that this happened once you had left Ninyang. commune. So when you were still at Nien Yang commune and before arriving at Srei Ronyang, did you hear about the fact that the enemies, the high-ranking of officers of the Lon Nol army, were smashed?
Although that the document was made in Nyanyong, at that time I was in charge of the economics, and the commune chief was another person, and they did that work without informing us working in the commune office.
And does the word sweeping clean, was it often used during meetings, and what did it mean during the Khmer Rouge period?
The expression to sweep clean means to purge within the rank, that is, those who were disloyal to the party. Even if the person was a commune chief or a member of the commune committee, they would be subject to being purged as well. I myself was very concerned, so I tried to work as hard as the ordinary villagers. I participated in gathering natural fertilizers, in achieving 3 tons per hectare of rice produce, etc.
Well, to be perfectly clear about this, when you say to sweep clean, did this mean purge the ranks? Did this mean that these people were eliminated?
No,
Answer. People in rings were arrested one after another.
And once these people were arrested, did you know what would happen to them? Were these people seen again?
Answer. In general, we could not see them return to the place. In Srei Ronyang, Takon was removed, and I never saw him again.
I would like to quote, without providing you the document, but simply quote from witness T2CW 860. And in his written record of interview E3/5511, at answer 9, corrects the interpreter, he said the following. I will simply give you the context. He was a deputy chief at the Trom Kok Hospital. And at answer 9, he describes a district assembly during which the cadres were informed of the categories of people who had to be purged. And he said the following, and I quote, free translation: the people who were to be executed were part of the army. As officers from the rank of warrant officer up, whereas those who worked in the administration, people from the rank of first assistant above had to be executed. End of quote. So you're saying that the purge at Srei Ronyang had already been carried out when you arrived. Did you yourself attend a district assembly where it was decided which categories of people among the former servicemen and officials of the Lon Nol regime had to be purged.
Answer. I did not recall it well. At that time, I was in 30s, and now it has been all over 30 years from the event, and I did not recall it.
Earlier on, you spoke about an assembly at Sector 13 that was chaired by Tassom. In which year did Tassom chair such an assembly you attended?
No.
Answer. In 1977 and 1978. He chaired the meetings in 1977 and 1978.
Was it Tassom each time who would chair these meetings in 1977 as well as in 1978? Earlier on, you said that Tassom had several people who followed him, Taprak and Tarak, for example. Can you confirm that Tassom was present at both of these assemblies or only at one of them?
Answer. Taron and Taprak never attended the assemblies. Taprak was transferred to Takao for 3 months. After that, he was arrested. I was not sure how long Taron was there in Tramkot, and I knew that Taron went to join the assembly in Phnom Penh, and he was hit by the train.
Did anyone replace Taron after that accident?
Answer. Tatet replaced Taron. I did not know his full name. I knew only Tatet. And after Tatet was transferred to any other place, Taket replaced Tatet.
Well, I will stop here. So I understand that it's quite difficult to remember the dates 30 years later. However, I'd like to get back to a person who criticized Angkar in Ninyang and Serai Ronang communes. And you said at answer 30 of your written record of interview E3/5521, you said that the people who disagreed or who criticized Angkar in any way whatsoever were sent to education sessions. And all of these people never came back. Free translation. So before the break, I would like to provide to the witness a document as well as to display it on the monitor. This is document E3/4098. With your leave, Mr. President.
President, you may proceed.
Alors, les IRN en Khmer 0027 1030 jusque 31. En anglais 0032 2-1.
0032212415 in French. 00623837-38. This is a report dated 4 August 1976 that was sent to the district party by Anne, who was the head of Krang Tachang, regarding the arrival of prisoners. And this report describes the case of one prisoner from Ninyang commune called Ton Tien, Toan and Tien, Tean, Ton Tien. And in this report, you see that Ton Tien criticized Ankar, that he did not show respect for the regime during a commune meeting, and that apparently he had been encouraged by colleagues to escape to Thailand. On the upper left-hand side of this report, there is a note which says the following, and I quote, "To be interrogated, then smash." End of quote. Do you know this person, this Ton Tien, who before the Democratic Kampuchea regime was working as a pharmacist in the village of Rusay Srok in Ninyang commune?
Answer: I did not know the person named Tuan Tien, but I heard people call an individual by the name Tien. Actually, I did not know the person named Tuan Tien.
And just like Ton Tien, who apparently criticized the regime, or who demonstrated what was interpreted as lack of respect for the regime, does that mean that even the slightest amount of criticism was enough to justify an arrest and then an execution?
Answer: President, please hold on, Mr. Vinay. You may proceed, Mr. Kope.
Yes, I object to this question. First of all, the witness doesn't know the document. Secondly, there's a lot of speculation in this answer that these people were executed for nothing. I think the questions posed by the prosecution should not be leading and should be based on the knowledge of this particular witness. So I object to this particular line of question.
Mr. President, I would like to respond because I just quoted what the witness had said regarding people who showed criticism or regarding people who disagreed. And he said that these people were sent to education sessions and that they would never come back. So I think I can ask him if, just like the person described in this document, if anyone criticized the system of the regime, that person would be executed in the commune in which that person was living.
President, the objection of the defense counsel for Mr. Nguyen Chie is overruled. The chamber needs to hear the testimony, the response from this witness to the last question put by the Deputy International Co-Prosecutor. Mr. Vinay, you are instructed to give your response to the last question put by International Co-Prosecutor. Witness, I forgot the question.
សូមជម្រាបដោយច្រឡំភ្លេច ព្រះអង្គបានសំណួរ
I do not recall your question, Mr. Co-Prosecutor.
សម្ដេចរងអន្តរជាតិសូមតាំងសំណួរ
President, Mr. Co-Prosecutor, could you repeat your question, please?
Yes, of course. Witness, criticizing the regime or showing lack of respect or what was interpreted as such, was this enough to be arrested and then executed in Ninyang commune or in any other commune in Tram Kok district?
Answer. I was not aware of this matter. At that time, I was not staying in Nhai Nhong, and the decision were made in Nhai Nhong commune. The decision were made by the heads, and I did not know about this matter. President, thank you, Mr. Witness. Thank you also, the Deputy International Co-Prosecutor. It is now convenient time for break. The hearing will resume at 3:05. Court officer, you are instructed to find a proper place for Mr. Witness and also for the duty counsel and have them returned before 3:05. The court is adjourned.